Here we'll take a look at the acceptable toolbox as an intermediate. This set here is good to start off with in your own home, but you don't really require this to bring to the shop with you if you work for an employer, because usually they have these kinds of tools there, but at home it's great to have this in case you have a broken bolt or some nuts that are rounded off that you can't get out. This is a good start as an intermediate, and it's not much, so we'll just start off with this box here, which is the nut extractor. It ranges from 8mm to 19mm. So if you have a rounded nut, it's easier to take out than your usual standard socket, and they do a pretty damn good job, so I definitely recommend these. If you ever have nuts that ain't gonna come off, this is your go-to. And then next up is just more heavy-duty nut extractors, which is it goes up in empirical, this one here, but if you ever need something that's a lot larger for your nut removal, you can use this. Good to have. Alright, so we got the easiest method to extract nuts or rounded bolts with these tools. But if you have bolts now that are sheared off and now it's damaged, then these two tools don't come in handy anymore. It's a wrong application. So then the next thing you'd have to do if you have a broken bolt is you'd have to move on to drilling it, and then you would have to either extract the bolt, the screw, or you would have to tap and die it. So the next tool you'll need if you have that problem, broken bolts, is a drill and some drill bits. And I did a video on how to repair a broken bolt using these tools. I'll link to that below so you can check that out. But these usually don't cost much, like on sale 50 bucks, maybe another $30-40 for drill bits, and the nut extractors maybe together under $100, maybe less than $70, so not bad. Right, so anyways, so you can drill the holes out, that's the first step, and then you can move on to extracting the screw or the bolt with a screw extractor. It goes from 4mm to 14, and you can, after you drill the hole, you stick this in the bolt and you turn counterclockwise, and the threads and the teeth dig in so that as you turn and loosen, it drags the bolt with it out, so that can come in handy. I've seen these work a couple times, but they don't always work. But in case, it's better to extract it than to tap and die, which we'll explain in a bit. And then we just move up to just a more heavy duty bolt extractor. From here, goes up to 28, ranges to 28mm to 32, and goes down to 3 to 6mm. So it's good to have this as your first go-to to extract your broken bolt. And if that doesn't work, your last method, which will usually work 99% of the time, is to tap and die your bolt. So here we have a tap and die set. These are the taps you use to make new threads. So use this guy, goes into the hole, and you slowly create new threads as you turn the tap. And this is what you use for that, to turn the tap. And then here's our die set. You can use this to create new threads if you have damaged bolts. You have a piece like this, and you stick that over the bolt, and you can see there's teeth here that will cut into the damaged bolt and force it to make threads. So this does the threading, or you can call it the die. This, you stick it like that in there, tighten the screw, and then you go clockwise to make your threads. That's handy to have as well. And usually that works 99% of the time to repair your broken bolts. And then this last piece here is kind of optional. It's the same tap set, but it's got a ratchet for turning the tap. So you can stick that in there, put in a tap, and you can put in a tap and it'll move like a ratchet. So you flip it over and you can use it that way if you don't want to use the traditional tap. But that's about it for the intermediate set. That's an acceptable toolbox to have. Very handy, and you'll definitely need it some of the time. That's a great thing about this tool set. As an intermediate, it's not much to start out with. This probably costs maybe under 400, maybe under 300, and gets a lot of things done. So definitely worth the money, and definitely worth to have in your garage. Okay, so I hope this helped. Make sure you hit subscribe, like.
Automotive for Beginners.